good start to this.
Yeah, technology's rough. I'd like to go back to
Canadians.
board games, and we can cast those instead.
Connect 4?
Yeah, I beat you at that.
Yeah.
Wrecked you at that. Set you up for the trap. You fell right into it. Speaking of traps, are YP going to fall into mousesports trap, Moses?
I think they already have. I think the desk summarized it very nice. But going into this Pastrana, this is going to be a big uphill battle for YP, and this is kind of the things you'd expect. The in-game leader is Innocent, who speaks a completely different language. There's a huge barrier, so simple strats, but it's already been spotted out early by Nico, who jumps up towards the platform.
Yeah, this is a reasonably slow-paced start, considering there's 4 armor players, 1 utility player. Kibikin going to be the one holding on to said utility for Team YP, and they haven't really put much pressure onto the A side at all, so already the stack-up that's going on with 2 players, a third if you argue that Nex is in the swing position, watching that drop strategy right now, and Chris J's the only one in A. He hasn't had to make a call, he hasn't had to see anything, so they don't need to move mousesports. They're actually in a really good position to try and hold this now. They are quite passive from the drop, so if they can get in quick enough and get one of the smokes out toward the statue, they should at least get a bomb plant out of this.
Yeah, unless some ridiculous shots come out. But already Arch has made his way into the site. He sees there's no one there, so they could get this plant down, but there's the long-range death dealing from Nico and Nex. That duo is just combined for 3 quick headshots, but the bomb does get planted.
Kibikin's going to try and come back down, drop late now that they've been distracted. He manages 1 kill at least, but it's him versus 4. Dennis, Nico were low HP, but they're not found. It's Nex that gets the kills instead. 3 for him in the round, doesn't even take any damage, and a defuse. So they did get the bomb plant. That's crucial for YP, because now in round 3, they can look to get out early guns.
Yeah, and here's the big thing as well. When you have that strategy from the CT side, when you have so much emphasis on drop, you have to land those first 1 or 2 kills as they come out. You have to use that range, and that allows all 4 members who are playing more towards drop, or are playing a little bit of a passive, they can swarm the bomb site so much easier because there's only 3 players on the terror side. They can't possibly defend against that push-up. So really, really well executed by mousesports. And actually no investment from YP into this round, so with that plant, they're going to go for the 3rd round AKs.
This is interesting as well. So Nico and Chris. Nico, this is something he talked about at 8 p.m. that he talked about extensively with us after the game. They go for the UMPs early, knowing there's going to be a 3rd round buy, but they can keep the SMGs because they have the armor penetration, so they can effectively get a bonus round. If they win that 4th or 3rd round with the SMGs, they're going to build their economy, and they're going to limit U-point. And if they lose it, then that means that they're going to reset them immediately after with another investment. So Chris J opening up on Davkos, good money for him, but again, it's the next round they're already looking to invest towards. This Kibikin's going to be late down the drop. Nico gets the first shot onto him, but he's taking a little bit of damage in turn from Arch. In fact, the Arch is going to get the kill instead, so now they've got to be a little bit careful that they don't lose more guns as Spiro finds Speedy, and now it's a UMP in the possession of the terrorist trying to approach, but it's only he that remains, 1 versus 3.
Yeah, the armor fence nice and all that, but when you don't have armor of your own, very, very difficult to aim as you're getting pegged with bullets, and Chris J is going to finish things off. This many UMPs, Flusha would be proud, as we've seen him really popularize or even just use the UMP on this map over and over again, even when he's got the money for rifles. So he's sitting there happy. He's like, nice, watching Fnatic demos.
Yeah, right?
Why not?
Just go full Flusha on this map and only run the UMP for every single round. And if someone asks you for a drop, yo, you built up this bank, throw me here's a UMP.
Can't complain with the results, right?
No, you cannot. Absolutely not. We can criticize all we like. So Nex is limited to the MP9 this time. So against this armor, he actually is in a disadvantageous position, but Chris gets tagged up. 16 HP already for him as he tries to go aggressive towards the top of mid. It's Spiro now that'll have to hold off in toward that mid position. Try and anchor out that danger spot. Speedy going to spam back through as well. It's Davkos on the receiving end of that, but it's 3 players held right now inside of the A site from the CTs. Nico passive on the long position at B, and it's a 1-for-1 trade meanwhile, so Dennis gets Spiro, but goes down in the end. This still opens up a lot of room. They've stacked up this A site, but Chris J gets found immediately. Davkos with a great opening shot. They haven't spotted Speedy yet on the wall, and Innocent's down below him. That gives his position away, and he falls into the clutches, unfortunately, of Arch, who'd already walked through. And it's all on 1 player left in the site. That's Nex. Thankfully, Nico, through the smoke, though, is able to provide some help. And they've actually got the disadvantage heavily in terms of firepower, having 2 SMGs. But in the fact that Davkos is low on HP, that gives Nex the shot, the advantage, and it's all on Arch trying to establish the crossfire. They've got it as well. 1 on the balcony, 1 on the platform. Lag spotted, though. Arch gets the kill. There's no trade potential, but Nex still holds on in the MP9, the sewing machine with the kill.
Yeah, critical. That was so tough looking at those two SMGs being the ones who had to really battle for that. So Chris J gets damaged early. He had to play more passive. Couldn't fall all the way back. They don't salvage the AWP, which is a little bit of a bummer for this CT side. But they're going to be going against. It looks like a little bit of investment into this round. Armor's picked up some upgraded pistols, obviously out of Team YP. But early on, mousesports has stabilized pretty nicely. Their money still hasn't built up too much. Nex has 3,000 and Nico has 1,700. That's about all they have. But this should be a pretty standard round. Once again, YP, much like Pistol, a lot of players concentrated over towards B and towards drop zone. Speedy's the only one there this time, and actually they're going to pressure him. They've come in on drop, and Speedy's got to fall away. He's got the M4, but he falls to the Tech 9 of Arch.
Nico gets the response kill. Nex is going to hold in the sight, but only for one, despite the AK in such a close angle. This actually gives some mobility. Dennis, though, catches them in the motion. Davcost, Arch both taken down in behind the alley. Below the tree, and it's Spiro the last alive. No chance to get the bomb down as it went through drop, and unfortunately they never cleared Nico from that position. So even if they had managed to get by Dennis, it wasn't like they were going to have easy access to it. Plant 4-0, no reset coming in yet, so still Team YP will have the lost round bonus in their favor, hence the AWP on Davcost.
Yeah, no op on Chris J either, so he wanted that in that first gun round, but wasn't able to salvage it. Now doesn't invest into it. So 5 M4s on the board for the CT side. They have full smokes and Molotovs though, so that can slow down any kind of fast play. I mean, that's going to be very, very tough for YP to deal with inside of these choke points. And actually, Chris J getting a little bit aggressive. Dennis is playing in danger stairs, but Chris J pushed up in those A-halls. Dennis is going to bail him out as well. So a little bit of a crossfire setup, but YP's going to take this one very slow to open things out, trying to find any kind of information.
And Nico's yet to play, with the exception of the last round when he knew that they were against a Quasi. Yet to play aggressive on that balcony. But YP this early in the game, not dictating the pace, not trying to play quickly, does mean that mousesports can learn to save perhaps some of their utility on that CT side. They don't bait it out quite as easily.
Yeah, with the op and Davkos as well, they want to give him time to see if he can find some kind of a pick. Mousesports isn't giving him anything though. That's kind of what stalls out this push. And also he doesn't have armor, so he's got to be a little bit careful of how he takes his fights because of the aim punch, obviously. And still on the mousesports side, they've got 2 smokes to work with, 2 Molotovs as well, and this clock is going to start dwindling here. And Nex with a good spot. There's actually 3 players over towards this A bomb site, so a bad read, and YP's starting to readjust over towards B. Nico's going to have a big role to play here.
He absolutely needs to come up big spots. The second peek, not any counterfire done yet. They know his position, goes for the bounce flash off the corner, pops almost perfectly, but no one exposed and no one available for killing. Molotov will buy more time now, and now the rotations come over. Dennis, next, they're already in the connector, but they're not covering the drop. Kibikin gets down and inside, it's Nico gone from a distance, and that opens up the drop for the 4 players now of YP that want to try and get in the site. Speedy, he's put himself in a good position, but with an M4, he can't necessarily go for the aggression. Now he will. Nex gets the kill instead, but that's a trade because Dennis has already dropped. Speedy's low on HP, finds one more Nex. But Speedy, he's staying efficient. He just needs to deny the bomb plant, and he'll do exactly that. 1 second left, and Davcost needs to stay alive. I think he's just going to do it.
That got so hectic. Speedy, he doesn't really even find kills, but staying alive at that statue, he took so much attention from YP during that hit. And also, I mean, you look at the utility that mousesports had, the nades they had left, that 1 Molotov slows down everything, really isolates that drop player as well. So he's basically, trying to take on the bomb site all by himself. But Speedy just staying alive there. YP not aggressive enough coming around that fountain. They have to clear him out of their position if they want any chances that clock dwindles. They get stuck in a really tough spot. Davcost, he does survive, but once again, he doesn't get any bonus money for living from that round, so he still has no armor to play with.
And Nico with this boost. Again, this SMG, so he's literally playing as Flusha right now. And he's going to take advantage of it. Davcost, no armor, but didn't count for the second one.
Just sing that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he pulls an 8 out there, a little bit not ready for that aggression of the second player. So he does get cleaned out. It is a 1-for-1, and now information has been denied. You can see mousesports as well split between the 2 bomb sites.
I've been surprised at how much aggression they put on A early. Like you said, there's been 2 or 3 rounds where they had 3 on the A side. This time it's going to work out. Dennis is going to go down at danger, though, but Chris doesn't necessarily need to move yet because there's no one applying pressure from long. He can actually play this reverse angle, and if Spiro doesn't consider this option, it could be hugely problematic for YP right now. And Chris does spot his foot, gets the first kill. Now they'll have the information in there, and now Chris gets a little bit segregated. He needs to fight his way out of this, but he gets the bomb as well. Brilliantly done from him. Yeah,
not any kind of committal to that fight, so he kind of really plays it nicely with that angle, and now even goes for 1 more. He was basically playing a game of chicken, just gambling that no one was going to be coming up long, and eventually when he doesn't get flanked, he's like, all right, there must not be anyone there, because I would have had pressure put on me from long if there was. Molotov buys a little bit more time, and now his teammates have rotated over, so huge crossfire setup to defend this bomb between Nex and Chris, and Vakin is going to fall here. Innocent does get a kill onto Speedy, but he's going to fall into that same trap.
Come on, Deagle. Nicely done. Actually, they're the one-on-one. Chris so far away from this. Bomb, it is Molotov. Smoke's not going to extinguish the flames if you throw it like that.
Doesn't have time, I don't even think, to get to the bomb
He can't.
site.
No, he doesn't. 7 seconds. And smartly,
no.
Chris isn't going to peek this. It's already done. Try what you want, but the round is over. And Chris does all the work out toward long. Those 2 kills keep him alive. It ends in the 1-on-1. If Innocent had been able to find the shot early with the AWP, perhaps, but mousesports now with the 6th round, and YP yet with an answer, or yet to answer, to keep up the AWP at least. And the question is, do they force around this?
Yeah, the real problem is now they've kept this op alive for 2 rounds in a row, but they're not getting the losing bonus behind it by keeping that alive. So it's really all they're going to have into this round. I mean, they could force buy behind this if they wanted to. Right now there is a technical pause.
2 rounds consecutively that's been timed out as well.
Yep.
So that's not common to see. There's only been 1 bomb plant out of these 6 losses. So even with the loss round bonus, it's not brilliant in terms of being able to buy every single round in that sense. And like you're saying, no loss round bonus for Innocent.
This is what we talked about, though, when we mentioned that, the YP with these 2 ringers, Innocent's coming in, speaks a completely different language. There is going to be that language barrier, and he's calling for them. So you can see kind of in the mid-rounds, there is a little bit of confusion between the 2.
Actually, that's a really good point in terms of the time being evaporated on them. I was on a plane with them yesterday, the 2 stand-ins, and they were like, yeah, we don't even know if they speak English very well. We don't know how this is going to go down. I was like, wow, this is confidence for a major qualifier.
Going to be fun. Dennis is going to have some pressure put on him. They do buy up Tech 9s and armor, so not a full investment into this round, but Innocent's going to have to do something special with that AWP. These Tech 9s at least could get the entries. They're going to smoke off Dennis. They know there's been a lot of presence in these danger stairs a couple of rounds. Chris J with the UMP is going to get that first one, but he does get traded off. Still 2 members here down on the mid-ramp, but YP with that 1 kill, they get the ump, and they might just want to fall away, and now they can give time for that op to pick if they want. But instead, they're going to rotate back towards the B bomb site. It is just Speedy who's at these double doors. He's got a spot from long range, but he's going to actually try and get aggressive into position here.
The interesting thing with mousesports is because these last 2 rounds have been timed out in 1-on-1s and 1-on-2 situations, you go back to round 3, there's only 1 guy left. Their money is actually not great. So even with Christian going down, you think, okay, he'll upgrade to the op next round. Not per se. They're not going to be in a position where he can do so. And again, this late rotation leaves just Speedy in the site. There's a good chance that YP can break early, but Nico does arrive. He takes down Tibikin on the way through, drops the bomb now from Spiro. Just 41 seconds this time, so thankfully they'll have a chance to recover and plant, but not with just Innocent remaining on 6 HP. And he knows Speedy is out toward that chicken coop. Tries to pre-fire in with the flash, go for the timing shot, but it doesn't work out, and now they can just sit back, watch the bomb. They don't even need to peek.
Yeah, it's just so smart. Instead of peeking with that pop flash, just once Innocent takes the shot, you readjust your position, and now he's got really no idea where you are. He still possibly could be in the coop. Oh, what a flick over from Innocent. That's a huge find. 15 seconds left. Is he going to think that he's in the smoke? This is a big-time play from Dennis.
Well, that's the thing, though. We're now down to that 10-second mark, so he needs to make the play in the next 3, because if he doesn't get that bomb, doesn't go for the plant, it's all but over. And Dennis, very well done, uses that smoke perfectly. There was no chance for Innocent.
And now, you mentioned Chris J, with all the economy being beat up, it's come down to some 1-on-1s. No money to invest in the AWP. They salvage one for him. So, backfires a little bit onto YP. Davkos is going to have an op of his own again. This one more time with, oh, nope, he does pick up armor there at the end. So YP's got to get on the board here pretty soon, because the one silver lining, like you mentioned, is that despite being down 0-7, no one on mousesports has over $900 in economy. There's no money built up, so winning 1 round for YP would reset the money for the CTs, and then they might be able to grow some or close the gap a little bit, win 2 to 3 rounds off that.
Early pressure applied this time onto the B site from YP, as Nex is going to be the guy playing out. Actually, he's boosted Nico above, so they've got a double setup for this. Molotov's already cleared the arch. It wasn't perfectly thrown. Nice flash, though. 2 players jumping through the smoke. 2 players down, and Nex needs to be aware of it, but Nico, he's got 2. Spiro is so quick to get to the bomb site. Regardless, though, they'll find a double of his own in turn. Nico not quite ready for his position. Gibbons going to be in a good position to cut off these rotations as well. So Dennis gone. There's only 1 player left inside the bomb site. It's Nex who gets flashed. He's going to go back to help his teammate, Spiro. That's his opportunity to go for the bomb, but Nex catches him. And you'd think there was an opening in this round. Finally, YP with an execution that works. But they're going to have to battle their way still to try and close the round. Good news is they've kept the economy tight again by getting it down to just 1 player remaining for mousesports. It's going to be Chris J in the end. And he's got the M4. He's dropped away from that early AWP, knowing he has to clutch this situation. And Kibikin's going to be quite smart about this if he can grab this bomb. Now, the question is, does he cut back through drop and try and figure out exactly where the defender is, or does he just wing it and go all the way to A?
Well, he's got to be really cautious here. You can see him walking this whole way, because if Chris J is, put in that drop position, he can hear all that running. So he's got to be a little bit ninja about it. Now he's booking it. Now he's on his horse, and he's going to go all the way up the danger stairs. Chris J has rotated over to the A bomb site, so he's pretty convinced it's going to be here. This is the right read. I'm not sure what he might have seen, but he's at least guessed correctly, and he hears all these footsteps. So now it's just mobility game, and he spots out a little bit early, but he does land the shot. Does take down Quebecan.
I mean, that's the one thing about that drop position. Like, even if you're going to fake it, if like you're saying, he thinks Chris J can hear him. Well, you can hear him in turn. So if you go there and just wait, you'll hear if the rotation, if he's quick about it, if he panics a little bit, wants to get to the A site. So he would have heard Chris in that case. I kind of like the cut back through drop for that reason. You're either going to confront them, make it a one-on-one, which it's going to be anyway, or you know exactly where he is and get to a bomb site.
The issue with cutting back to drop is, oh wait, I mean, forget that idea. 3 UMPs for mousesports. I don't know if they think this is going to be a save, or if they just, once again, want the utility, so taking that armor pen, but they're going up against 4 AK-47, so actually an advantage in terms of weaponry here for Team YP.
Nico's boosted again as well. And they need to read this, does! Kibikin with the shot from the AK does start things off well. Finally, a man advantage to work with. They haven't had the early pick often, that's for sure. In fact, I don't think they've had it at all in the last 6 rounds.
Yeah, now heavy pressure up to this A bomb site. They're going right at Dennis with the M4, but Nex is here with the UMP. Can't land that shot as well, so now very isolated in the site. This might be the round YP finally breaks the economy, but there's Speedy. Comes up big, and Dennis still alive in the bomb site.
I'm surprised Dennis went for that peek that early. I thought he would try and wait, but instead he's going to shuffle back out onto the floor, down towards CT spawn. Let's get 1 kill, 1 caught off guard. Chris, though, missing a big shot. Does follow it up on the second peek to Davcost. Now 2 remaining on low HP, but bomb is down. And Chris has not yet read that 1 player's crossed the balcony, so he'll be spotted. There's the trade. Kibikin just walks out. I have to say that was a decent round from him. 3 kills. And again, Dennis very aggressive on top of that platform, and I think he could have waited a little bit longer. And here we go with the economy on mousesports side. We talked about this. 1 round, then already they've got to contemplate how aggressive they want to go with their buy. If they level themselves to 2 grand, or if they, yeah, that's what they're going to do.
No, they're going all in.
Yeah. Wow, even more so. Next goes to the UMP.
Loving these UMPs. I didn't check what money they had before the last round, so I'm not sure why they bought so many UMPs into that. But you could just see they were just inefficient in the battles that they were able to find, especially on the rotation when they come over and you have so many UMPs trying to break through these choke points, taking range duels. Really, really tough to make that work. And once again, YP posturing early on at least for a heavy play towards the A bomb site. Another stack in the A halls pushed up. Dennis and Chris J. And YP taking the one slow. They need to be very careful. They don't lose too many players early on and just bleed them out. Davcost coming with the AWP. This setup for mousesports, this could deal a lot of damage here. Pop flash comes over.
Chris J, good position though. 5-7 starts it off. Looks for the second peek, and he's going to find Davcost, who was already pre-scoped in, expecting the angle. And look at the follow-up. Next comes around the UMP, Spiro down. And you can write the round off. There's 2 players left. They have AKs still to work with, but they're going up against now 2 AKs, which have been salvaged in turn on mousesports side, so they've strengthened their defense considerably. They've already rotated over Speedy. Nico's going to join in, just make sure he watches drop so there's no one lurking down from Team YP, but it's going to be Kibikin again that wants to start this off, and it's Chris J finally hitting a shot early. It's in the midair, though, nearly caught off in transition. Kibikin turning back, almost finds Speedy as well. They both go low on HP, but neither will die. And mousesports, with their most convincing round that of all of the ones they've won, comes when they don't have the weapons.
Where they have all pistols, essentially, in a UMP. So nicely done, that stack. Chris J, those 2 quick kills with the 5-7. Really, really well played. Salvages himself an op and grabs the 3rd. That's huge. And YP, this is the thing. This is the mistake. All they throw is a pop flash. They have some HEs. They have some Molotovs. Try and clear out that stack. That's a pretty frequently occurring stack in those A halls. You have the utility to do it. They just kind of fumble that a bit. And now all that's left for him to do, no armor. They do upgrade some pistols. Very fast play towards the B bomb site. Behind this smoke towards platform, but Speedy is here. Actually, that Molotov, that's a miscommunication. He gets forced out of that spot by his own team's Molotov. That gives Innocent a small angle to work with the Deagle.
We'll see if he can find the shots. That's the hard part, because no one's really at an elongated position where he can take advantage of peeking. Instead, he'll be the aggressor, and they'll be waiting with the rifles as Speedy does to Davcost. Kibikin goes down as well. Now the Deagle's got a chance. Speedy, oh, you need to hit shots to make the Deagle have a chance, unfortunately. Spiro gets 1 back with the Tech 9, but it's all going to be on Arch, who's dead as soon as he goes through the Arch. Nico with the kill, 10-1 our score. It's quite impressive so far from mousesports, and depressive from Team YP.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
That Deagle from Innocent, he's got to feel like those bullets might have just went out of the barrel sideways. So can't land any shots. Now moving forward, they have the 3 AK-47s. They have a Galil little bit to work with there. I mean, still, like, the theme of this has been, like, on some of these crucial rounds, just running very, very low on utility. Only 3 smokes to work with, 3 flashbangs, HE grenade. Once again, going up against the Oppa Chris J, which hasn't really had that much of an impact. And actually, look at Innocent. Now he's being aggressive. Just comes down, but Speedy recovers. They all come through the Molotov. Not too much damage is dealt by the fire, but they're trying to break their way into this bomb site. It's being held, though. Next responds at a Kibiken. It slows things down. There's all the utility from mousesports coming into play. Nades slowing down all the choke points.
Well, so far so good, but Davkos trying to spot up the player at the tree, does so and overextends slightly. That gives Nico the angle from the statue. And it's just a little bit of shuffling in and out of position. Arch now the last alive.
Yeah, that was on an edge there. YP looked like they were going to be able to get those entrances coming out of the drop zone. Not able to do it, and that allows mousesports to recover. And at that point, when you start running out of your nades as the T side, you have to take these range duels, right? And you're going up against guys like Nico, like Nex, at range, at distance, Chris J with the AWP. Those are tough fights to win, and YP back onto a save round.
So things from bad to worse. That single round mid-half instantly causes the reset. And mousesports are just walking with this one. I mean, let's be fair. Cobblestone and mousesports seem to go hand in hand as of late. Have for a while, but more so lately. I think they've been playing significantly better on it.
I mean, this is also just in terms of the teams. We just talked a lot about it. Look at Chris J. Finds that pick, but he can't run. He's been dinked. Jumps over the shot, does Arch, and he gets that kill. Now it's just Dennis at stairs. They know he's been playing here frequently, so they're going to clear this out. The question is, are they going to be efficient? He gets the first kill, and he gets traded off. That's nicely done, but it's still a 2-on-3 situation.
But Nico found Davkos, who was trying to pinch Dennis in. That bought him a little bit more time, but more importantly, does give them the offsetting kill. So mousesports, with 3 players still alive, have the advantage once again. They'll buy out more time as Arch, unfortunately, can't shuffle all the way into the corner on the left where he would have been able to spot Nico, all due to that Molotov. And now Innocent is going to walk back toward the B tunnels. 1:07 to play with. It seems like a lot of time, and it's usually is for most teams, but we've seen it time and time again from YP in this game that they seem to leave it to the last second. Next, going to be covering off the drop from the windowsill now. Question is, do they go that direction or do they go out toward long?
With the AWP, you want to go out towards long, and they're actually doing it right. They give it to Arch, who has the armor, so if he gets into a duel with any kind of M4, he can survive, or he can, take a dink, obviously, but he can also, the aim punch isn't going to affect him. He can find that opening pick and see if they can get an avenue into the bomb site. Going to be really, really tough, although mousesports is playing it passively. 2 members in drop, and they actually have, it looks like Nex is flanking all the way around. So they actually know that the ending play here for YP is going to be this B bomb site. It's all about if one of them gets picked off at range.
Done this right, but Speedy is in such a good position. They're not going to account for this early. And the AWP caught going toward the chicken coop. That's denied the plant. I was going to say that's going to do it. Speedy's just going to stand there and consider what's going on,
like,
but nonetheless.
Sometimes,
They're even laughing about it down there, but they're going to get the round all good. The only advantage for YP in this situation is they get a little bit of extra money out of that.
Yeah, which is actually huge. So they're going to be able to have an AWP as well again if they want it. It's also not been too impactful for them, but at least they have the smokes, the flashes, the Molotovs to work with late into the rounds. That'll be nice for them if they can make something work. If they can find an opening early on in the round and spread out some of the defense. And this is the thing too. Now that the money is growing for mousesports, it's just going to get so much more difficult for YP to gain any traction. So 12-1. Obviously, need these last 2 rounds of this half.
That is a very obvious statement, Jason.
I know.
I do appreciate it, though.
I'm sorry.
You've got to say something, right?
As soon as it came out, I was like, oh boy.
It's good that you're doing your job, though. I appreciate that. Talk when I'm not. That's all you have to do. And I talk when you're not and say useless information.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how this works.
Generally.
If anyone's wondering how casting operates, that's all you do. You just regurgitate whatever you want. Speedy playing at the drop room right now. Has 2 players considering walking down. That first smoke on the window should indicate there will be pressure. Quick pop flash doesn't really catch Speedy, but smartly he's going to smoke them in. You want to smoke right? I'll smoke left. Good luck. You're trapped. It's a rat in a cage, and Speedy's just going to sit back, spray through. Nearly does take Spiro all the way down into the grave. In fact, Nico will follow things up with Innocent. That's his 2nd kill, and Chris is going to watch the Arch from the other side. So things get a little bit hot and hard to handle for YP as they get completely limited in their position. So speaking of hot and hard to handle, that's going to be Harch getting burnt alive. Fortunately, though, he did pick up 1 kill on Nex before, so which gives Kibiken a bit of a chance, but he's found by Speedy.
Nico just lets him burn as well. I mean, Nico knows he's there. He hears the footsteps and just doesn't peek. Knows he's running through a Molotov. But this is the thing. You can see mousesports when these hits come into the B bomb site. you know, it's like that smoke in drop zone that was used. It just isolates this attack. It really splits up the two prongs of it. So the guys coming out drop can't go through that smoke. They're getting shot at. They're getting damaged through the smoke. And then the guys coming out platform are basically just isolated. So all the defense can focus on one spot at a time. And mousesports is just systematically eliminating YP from the map.
Get Chris back on the EWP. This time, still playing at A. He's gone aggressive. He's found the information that it is going to be a B hit. They're going to go passive this time on that archway, or rather, excuse me, on that platform, though. Nico's still able to get the long-distance shot. It's Speedy to follow it up. Two players toward tree. You'd think there's an opening, but there's no utility left over for the bomb to cross. He's going to go completely on his own, and Innocent gets caught. 14-1 at the half. mousesports dominating this game. I don't think there was ever any question they would win it, but by how much was always going to be the gamble. And right now it's pretty hefty.
Listen, Thorin predicted 16-0. Like, YP in my book has already won by getting that round.
Wow, all right.
Like, what happened? Like, do you know how insufferable that man could be if he predicts a 16-0 and it goes his way? I'm just so happy. Thank you, YP.
I see what your point is.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Thorin was already wrong this morning. Blue's the only one 100% right now.
Blue's killing it.
So Blue can actually top the day. What was Thorin's rate? I think Thorin had like an 83% prediction rate last year for 2015 or something like that. So this year's been a little bit harder for him. I remember Starladder, he was struggling there too. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, prediction game's tough business, to be completely honest with you.
It is.
Yeah.
Yanko's also like maybe 14% this year. So yeah, I think
keep it stat. What are you at, Matt? You know everyone else's stats.
I don't want to make predictions. Yeah. I was 100% on day one at Barcelona, which was nice. I was the only one.
You must be nice from your high horse over there.
Yeah. No, it's, you know, when you're this good, there's no need to keep track of it. I don't want to rub it in for everyone else, right? Like, come on now. If I remove myself from competition, at least there is one.
Yeah, at least there's some challenge. I like it. Either way, 14-1 in that first half for mousesports. This should just be looking like the way that they out-aimed, outskilled some of these the YP players in the first half. This should just be an easy cleanup for them. Might just come off the back of this pistol round. So all 5 members, no one really towards the A bomb site. Nex is going to watch a little bit of a flank for a second, but Nico with this Molotov uses this smoke for cover, and this Molotov is going to be for the chicken hut. So we can just burn that player out, make sure that no one can stay there, and so when the execute comes in, he's forced into the open. Arch is going to get that first kill, though. But there's the Molotov. Sparrow's going to be forced out, and he wins the battle. A drive-by.
That was wonderful. That gives them a big chance inside of the site. However, Spiro now needs to clutch out, hold his onto this, and stay alive because he needs to buy time for the rotation, which was going to be Kivikin on the flank. That's gone now, and they can rotate back to A. So Spiro's got to pretty much do this alone with 2 kills already. And good positioning from Nex is going to make that even harder.
Yeah, this is like one of the more difficult rotations, is clearing out this entire area leading over towards the A bomb site. So Speedy's going to see him, deals a little bit of damage, and there's Nex. Peeks perfectly. He's distracted. Free kill, 15-1 now.
So there we go. That pistol round pretty much icing in the cake. They'll buy out, obviously, on the CT side into whatever pistols they can afford. And a shotgun for Spiro. I don't mind that per se because we know it from JW. It can be very viable on this map in the right position, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. MP7 for Dennis. It's going to be the UMP for Nico. Chris J goes immediately onto the scout, which, all right, it's a scout, but it's also Chris J holding it.
Yeah, right?
That guy's ridiculous with a scout. Aggressive from Davkos, considering the situation as well, to go with that Deagle and try and find the early pick. I mean, I guess they've got to do something in this case.
Why not? Backs against the wall. Go for it. Takes a lot of early damage for his trouble, though. Chris J still holding for a push. Not going to find it. This is his thing. At this point, mousesports can really just kind of, you know, they can force YP into some mistakes by just playing it passively, using some utility. You know YP with a lower arsenal is going to have to make some kind of a play. And mousesports just waiting to be able to take advantage of that. Looks like Nico. Is he already? No, he's not. Minimap almost messed me up. Oh, here it is. Oh, Chris J, just when you move away. That's unfortunate.
I wanted to see some, like, jump scoots. I know.
Yeah, you went
I did that for you on purpose. Kivikin's going to take down Dennis. I didn't do that on purpose. It was totally Canadian. That's the first kill in the round, oddly enough. This late, despite the initial challenge and damage, and it does favor YP in this situation. It also discourages mousesports from walking onto the A site. They can no longer get that read if there is going to be a stack, and it's going to be B that they now apply the pressure. Spiro flashed off already, has that shotgun, but he can't even get a shot off because Nico's already dropped down. Innocent, though, through the smoke, catches Nex. Another chance for more, but Nico's going to get that kill instead. However, Arch, he stayed alive within the drop zone. He's got a gun to work with, and he's now got it down to the 2-on-1 favoring his team as Chris has to clutch this back. He has the bomb, he has the smoke to work with. And it's a Tech 9, which he favors up close. In fact, more so than the AK in some certain situations. He's going to try and use it, and that is exactly why! It's Chris J! It's 2 quick headshots. And he's going to get the game for his team. 16-1. Finally some excitement, at least, though, as Chris. That's one of his favorite combos, the Scout Tech 9.
Scout. Yeah, what a way to end it. Exclamation point there for mousesports with Chris J just swinging out wide like that. That was pretty nice stuff, but, you know, pretty clinical win for mousesports. A lot of us saw that coming, so rough start for Team YP, but we've talked about the issues that they might have just with some of the new players coming in. And mousesports took great advantage of that, and that was a really solid performance.
Just a shout out right now to Hot Bautato. Oh, I did it again. Hot Bautato, congratulations. Shout out to you in chat. Best chat user of all time. But again, this was expected, and this now sets up the upper bracket in this group, which is a little bit different than we did expect. I expected Liquid to be in that. With the best of 3 decider game, there's still a chance against Hellraisers. Obviously, Liquid's going to have to go back and make sure they work on communication and get ready for that game after they play YP, though. Yeah,
I mean, there's some Hellraisers fan out there that's wondering why you're putting them in the best of 3 already. You know, just skipping over the fact that they have a chance to go through.
You're right, they do.
I mean, come on now, Matt.
At least we know where I lie in this one. I think the group at this point, that's where I would expect that game to end up for the decider. I mean, look, stranger things have happened in this building to mousesports. Let's not forget at the CEVO finals, they went all the way through. They played a brilliant tournament, got to the finals, best of 5, lost in, I think, 30 minutes to Virtus Pro in that case.
Yeah, that was so. They have some history here.
They do have some history here. There is a chance.
Yeah, savaged.
I know. Well, let's go over to the analyst desk, see what they think about the odds as we get ready for the next match.
Thanks a lot, friends. So there you go. You were 1 round out, Duncan, with your prediction.
Yeah.
Very disappointed, I imagine.
I mean, yeah, unacceptable from mousesports. They didn't have the composure to keep it up every single round, to really keep their head in the game. That one little mistake can cost you almost everything, you know.
Yeah, bit of a shame.
I'm waiting.
Well, I mean, you know.
Something you know about in your career, of course.
With a name like Team YP, to have Germans just doing that to you all the time, I mean.
Yeah.
The jokes write themselves, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave you to fill in the blanks yourself.
So what did you make of it, Blue? I mean, it was horrifically one-sided.
Yeah, it was extremely one-sided, extremely crushing, too. There were rounds where, I mean, YP had positions where they could have absolutely, at least on the T side, they could have absolutely gotten themselves out and onto the bomb site, at the very least found a plant, but they didn't even manage to do that half the time. Yeah. Like, Speedy getting some of these off angles by just working from Fountain there, too. He picks up 2 to 3 kills in a row. We should have that on replay in a few moments.
Yeah.
And, like, that should not be happening. There should be at least a little bit of communication to call that out. It just seemed like it was an absolute mess on YP's side.
But that was the big problem, wasn't it? There was no coordination. They were absolutely just, you know, peeking one at a time, running around, hoping for like miracle shots. And even when they did pull off some good individual moments, there was just nothing to really tie it to that meant they were going to get around.
I also don't really understand why they went so slow on the T side. Like, speed it up a bit. Get some pace going, get more splits going, you know.
There were a couple rounds where they tried to speed it up a bit, but then they like froze up as soon as there was a smoke or someone picked up a kill from the CT side, and then they were waiting for calls, I imagine, from Innocent or just someone to make a call or someone to try and make a play to get some momentum going again, but it almost never happened.
You can see what happens here when you're not playing fast enough. This is the replay brought to you by The Score, and this is the round that Blue alluded to, and it was just Spiddy here, where it's like, look, you've got to push him here at this point. So he's spraying away. He gets that 1 kill there. He's flashed. He's low HP. You think, right, they're going to get him. They know where he is. Push him. Nope. He's just going to keep.
And then he just tries to plant the bomb too, which is the worst part.
I mean,
complete ignorance to it.
Why are you even going for the plant there? It's just, I don't know, crazy stuff. And you know, that was kind of the moment. I think when we watched that round, I think you were just like, man alive. You knew that your 16-0 was going to be pretty close.
It could have happened, yeah, obviously. Yeah. I mean, you could see, though, the Mouse players were, in terms of performance, far superior, because they even had a round where when they had lost and they saved up, then they just won right back anyway. They just, with the, like, not even like a proper force fight, it was like pistols, like 5.7s and stuff. So they far outclassed the YP guys.
Who really stood out for you on the mousesports team? I know it was almost like kind of a warm-up game for them, but who really stood out?
Rex had some rounds. He was all right, I thought. The problem is when it's that much of a blowout, it's not really like one person's carrying the game, obviously. And likewise, because there was no one particularly standing out on YP, it just felt very, very much by the numbers. Felt very much a run-of-the-mill game where no one ever had to start rolling on mousesports time. They were never in trouble. I mean, they were in like a couple of 1v1s and 2v2s, but even then, it always looked like they were going to win them somehow.
Blue?
Yeah, when it's a 16-1, in all honesty, it's like more a death match than anything for the team that's just crushing it. So it's not even like there's stand-up performance. Everybody's doing fine in a 16-1, and even the players that aren't doing so well, they don't really need to because they're crushing the game anyway.
So not really a lot to analyze. So I'll ask you the question, Team YP. Where do they go from here? I mean, the other teams in the groups, we saw them a little earlier today. They're not going to be worried about them at all. I mean, obviously, like what YP have got to play Liquid now, and I'm guessing that's right. Yeah, you're looking at me.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. You're looking at me like confused there, Blue. I'm like, have I said something crazy?
A lot of teams, man. It's hard to remember the
So
groups.
Team YP are going to play, Team Liquid now, and I'm guessing Team Liquid will be like, well, we don't deserve to be if we can't beat that. So.
I mean, obviously, there's no excuse if Team Liquid were to lose to YP at this point in time. That would be literally almost the worst possible scenario you could imagine. It's pretty certain YP is going to go out of the group now. This is going to be the end. And also, for Team Liquid, I expect it to just be kind of a warm-up game. Like, just get ready for that best of 3 against whoever you're going to play against. Get ready to watch that team as well. I'd watch their winners match if I were you, rather than spend much time practicing YP. Watch that match, figure out who you're going to play next. Just get into shape and be ready for that match, because there's nothing really to learn from this game. You might not even get onto Cobble, and also it's not a scenario where you're going to lose them if you're a good team.
Okay. Well, look, thanks a lot for your thoughts, gentlemen. We'll throw a commercial break there. So we're back on schedule. We should thank YP for being so bad in that game, because it's brought us right back. We're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we're going to have the next game of the day, which is going to be Flipside Tactics versus Selfless Gaming. Do join us.